Module number 3, Writing Your Creative Writing Prompt by Marisela Gonzalez. Greetings. You are now viewing module number 3, Writing Your Creative Writing Prompt. In this module, we will discuss the following. Subgoal 3. You will write a 400-word creative writing short story in order to submit your product via Blackboard. Objective 3.1. You will identify what an effective creative writing sample is and isn't. Objective 3.2. You will formulate a 400-word creative writing short story from a given fractured topic. Objective 3.3. You will analyze your writing based off of a provided checklist. Objective 3.4. You will identify a logical writing flow and analyze whether you have logical writing issues. Make sure to pay close attention to the special note icon at the bottom of the screen in efforts to supplement your multimedia training throughout the videos. Hope you enjoy. Objective 3.1. You will identify what an effective creative writing sample is and isn't. Creativity is about doing things in a different way. Take a moment to reflect on the special note below. Write a catchy first paragraph. Take a moment and think of all the great books you couldn't put down simply because the first paragraph caught your interest. That is creativity, and an author must have that in order to spark the reader's attention. This is a segment where you are allowed to pause and to read both excerpts that are below. As you can see, the first excerpt on the left is Inside the Eye by Marisela Gonzalez. The one to the right is a writing sample. It is an expository writing sample. Expository is writing that informs and explains. It does not tell a story. It informs and explains solely. So therefore, on the left you have an effective creative writing sample for a novel. And on the right you have a not effective writing sample for creative writing. Note, expository writing is not creative writing. At this moment, go ahead and pause the multimedia video and read both selections. When you are ready to return, go ahead and press play, and we will continue. Welcome back. In the following frame before you, we have two creative writing excerpts. On the left side, you have Busy Mommy by Marisela Gonzalez. It is an effective children's book creative writing sample. The reason for that is because it has voice and it has plot. It has characterization, the development of characters, and there is dialogue. This is creative writing. It appeals to the senses and it suggests mood. On the right side, you have an expository essay. Students improve through tutoring. You have outlined paragraphs and you have the grammar and thesis. However, this is not stylistic creative writing. In fact, this is expository writing. There is a huge difference between the two types of writing. So do not confuse creative writing with expository writing. Remember, there are various types of writing that you may be able to do. However, for the course, you need to be very familiar with creative writing. As mentioned before, on the left-hand side, you will see an effective children's book creative writing sample, and on the right, a not effective creative writing sample. This is the part in the multimedia video where you may pause the frame. Go ahead and read both selections to become better familiar with both and compare and contrast. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you return, we will speak again over the same topic. Welcome back. Now we are ready to do a quiz. Which of the following is not a good creative writing sample? Which of the following is a good creative writing sample? At this point, you will read both selections. You will need to pause the video. When you are done reading both selections, we will come back and answer the two questions. Which of the following is not a good creative writing sample, and which is a good creative writing sample? Go ahead and pause. Welcome back. As I mentioned before, there are two questions. You see one which says which is not a good creative writing sample, but let's go ahead and figure out which is a good creative writing sample. If you chose B as a good creative writing sample, you are correct. If you chose A for not a good creative writing sample, you are correct. Objective 3.2. You formulate a 400-word creative writing short story. Haven't you ever felt when you get in your creative writing mood, ooh, this is good, I do not want to stop? That's how authors most often feel when they get in their zone. Hopefully, we will be able to, within this course, get in that zone and create an awesome 400-word short story prompt for you to turn into Blackboard. Objective 3.2 continued. You will formulate a 400-word creative writing short story. Use the list you created from previous module number 1, Stylistic Elements in Creative Writing, to help guide your creative writing of your own fractured tale. Below, you have the writing prompt. Retell the story of a Disney movie with one change. The princess is now a hipster. At this point, please pause the multimedia video. Get ready, set, write. Pause. Welcome back. Objective 3.3. You will analyze your writing based off of a provided checklist. This is a point in the video where you also may pause. There are 17-step good writing checklist samples that you have here as far as the criteria that you should be met when you are done and during the time that you write your writing sample. You must check that your product is good, well written, and that you have paragraphs and there are good sentences in your writing. Press the pause button. Welcome back. Objective 3.4. You will identify a logical writing flow and analyze whether you have a logical writing issues. Nothing's worse than writing something and it makes no sense whatsoever. That is called a logical thought process transferred over to a logical writing. Sometimes you write something and you think it's great and you fail to read it. Then you have someone read it and they tell you it makes no sense. Why does this occur? A lot of times it's because we are not reading what we write. We are going and rushing through it because we feel that we have something very concrete. However, this is not always the case. We should always reread our writing and make sure that we read and reread and reread until we see that all sentences not only are logical, but that they move from one idea to the next. This is called transitioning. Take a moment to look at the special notes icon below. Your mind is an amazing information processor. It wants to make sense out of all the millions of stimuli that bombard it constantly. When it gets information, it tries to fill in the blanks to make sense out of your experiences. This wonderful capability, called the categorical imperative by psychologists, makes your life manageable and simpler. Now it's time to take a quiz. Number 1. A fractured tale is A. A fairy tale designed to change the story in a creative and surprising way? Or is it B. A science fiction tale that takes the reader on a wild journey? If you chose A, you are correct. Number 2. Which sentence does not flow well? which paragraph does not make sense. All of these things are important so that you can figure out whether you're on the right page or not. So, in the below paragraphs, which one is the one that seems illogical? Is it number 1, an excerpt from Killing the Saint, or is it number 2, against gay marriage? Go ahead and pause the multimedia video and select A, number 1, or B, number 2. When you return, we will continue forth. At this moment, pause the video. If you chose B, number 2, you are correct. You have now finished viewing lesson module number 3, Writing Your Creative Writing Prompt, where you learned how to identify creative writing, how to formulate a 400-word creative writing short story, how to analyze your writing based off of a provided checklist, how to identify a logical writing flow and analyze whether you have a logical writing issues. Now it's time to move on to your final lesson, module number 4, Proof Editing Symbols, where you will learn how to proof edit your creative writing project using the proper handwritten symbols. Make sure to pay close attention to the special notes icon at the bottom of the screen in efforts to supplement your multimedia training. Hope you enjoy.